Hello, looping fans. This is a video demonstrating using Ableton Live's looper device in a live performance context. I'm using for the loop fodder Omnisphere and Ableton's looper, and I have it in a rack and it's chained. So at the top, there's nothing. It's just Omnisphere going straight through. At the bottom, there's the looper, and the reason why I'm doing this is because Ableton's looper does not have a mix function, mix feature. So by making a chain and then throwing a utility device at the end of it, I now have I can control the volume of the looper independently of Omnisphere. And so I'm using push, and then I'm using, in combination with push, I'm using the Allen & Heath Xone K2. And the reason why is because I got all these buttons and extra knobs, which you don't have in Live. Live does not have, they need to have another set of buttons here just to control plugins and devices, but they don't. And that's really too bad. Maybe Push 3 will have that. Maybe Push 3 will also have an audio device. The Xone K2 does. It has two pairs of stereo outputs. So you got one for sending to your front of the house or your monitors or whatever you're using. And then you got another one for your headphones. So you can DJ style, cue up the sounds you're going to use before putting them in the mix. And I certainly do that. I've got a collection of sounds that I made and other ones that I pulled from the Omnisphere library. They're in their own folder, but I don't have them exactly memorized as to what every single one sounds like. So before I'm going to put something out, and by the way, I would be doing this with four sets of loopers duplicated, but I'm just going to demonstrate just using one channel right now. So I can cue them up in the headphones and know if that's really what I want to use, because I'm an ambient musician and I'm a improviser. So I do all my sets that I do are completely improvised. So a lot of times I have to cue things up in the headphones before I'm gonna bring them into the mix, so there isn't a complete train wreck. So onto the looper and the K2. So here's my channel fader, right? This controls. I have this MIDI mapped to control the feedback of the looper. This is the volume of the looper with the utility plugin. You can see, right? I can turn it down, and I have the limit set to 0 dB. And then here's the feedback. I also have buttons set up for dividing and multiplying, reversing, and then half speed to 1 octave. All right, so there's the half speed, there's the reverse, and this is set to start the looper. So you can see, and I have it set for 1 bar, but you know what? I didn't hit play, so that's going to screw it up. If you start, I don't have this set to control the transport. So hit the space bar. We're playing. Start recording. And so I got it for 1 bar, but with these buttons I can multiply or divide. So now I'm going to divide. I can divide further than this, and it'll get into like really granular stuttery stuff, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because when you go back to multiply, you're going to get really strange things happening with like all kinds of like stuttering and pitch shifting and crazy stuff. Ableton doesn't know what it is. I've talked to them about it. So don't divide further than basically a 16th step. Yeah, if you go further than that, it's going to be really, really crazy. So now you can multiply out. Now we're back to 1 bar. Let's change one of the sounds here. Yeah, that little click right there, that's because this is a 2011 Mac, and sometimes, yeah, I mean, I need to get a new Mac, so that's really unfortunate that happened. Back to when I divide it, you're gonna get these little cut sounds, which I like, you know, they're cool. If I want to kind of cut this down a little bit, it's too loud, I use feedback to like bring that down. So with push, you know, I got this fader that controls the whole thing. That's great. I don't want to use mix mode on push because I got to get out of device mode to do that. I want to use push to control devices, and I want to use it to control echo in this case specifically because it's such a amazing. It's like one of the best things Ableton's ever done is the echo device. My only criticism is it's got a maximum of 2.5 seconds. I wish they like put it out to like 10, so you could do delay, like long delay looping, you know. But you can do short delay looping with this. So I'm gonna bring the looper volume down. Okay, it's still at, you know, it's still at full feedback. I still got the looper going the way I want. I'm just taking it out of the mix, right? And then I'm just going to demonstrate, you know, echo. So bring this up, wet dry mix. And feedback is awesome because it can go into regenerating feedback. Which I just love that so much. You get the filter. And like this is gonna get really, really loud, so I'm gonna bring this down. You know, now it's clipping, which in a live context I would make sure that didn't happen. But you can also control it, you know, with the volume of that, just with wet dry. It's not going anywhere. As long as you got it over 100. If it's over 100, it'll stay like this forever, slowly degrading, which is, I love it. I love it. And so now I can bring in the looper, volume of the looper, which is going to get fed into this as well. So I take the input gain down. Now it's not going in there. I got the two are separate. So if I take the input gain down, I have the individual volume of the looper and the volume of the echo all independently. And live playing of Omnisphere. Right? And that's not going, actually that is going into the looper. I would have to set the looper to just playback. So if I had that on playback, well, I can play something new now and it's not going to go in there because it's on playback. So what I'm playing now is not going into the looper and it's not going into echo. So I basically have like a live channel, live playing channel. I got the looped audio and then I've got the echo looped audio. As you can hear, it's a little grittier now. And then you can mess with the time. I'm gonna set that to sync. Now I got it under 100%, and that's gonna degrade and fade out. So you really want this thing if you're into live looping. I do guitar looping. I use the Echoplex Digital Pro, which is awesome, and I've tried to replicate a lot of the features and functions that has with the looper, and I've got a few of them down, like multiplying divide and reverse and drop it down an octave. So an independent mix and feedback. So, and the other awesome thing is, this has 2 stereo outputs, one for your monitors, one for your headphones. I think I already said that, but it's $270 basically, and the amount of control this thing has is awesome, and you can tell exactly where the feedback is, right? Just by looking at the device. You don't have to switch it over. You don't have to look at the screen, and you don't have to look at it on push. So that covers it, and happy looping.